General Hospital tragedy deaths. Craig Morgan's last breath reveals hidden pain. Heartbreaking death on GH. Hello everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The morning the news broke, the air on the set of General Hospital seemed unusually heavy. Before anyone could say anything, social media, news outlets and news channels, everywhere, spread a line like blood: Craig Morgan is no more. The actor whose smile made people forget themselves, whose eyes lit up with hope whenever he appeared on screen, that man was no more. No one could believe it. The crew members, sound engineers and cameramen standing in front of the studio's coffee machine. Everyone suddenly froze. The hot coffee smoke seemed to be floating in an invisible fog of mourning. No shooting was taking place, the cameras were silent, but the tears inside people were screaming very loudly. No one could imagine that the person they worked with yesterday, the person they joked with, the name they uttered affectionately, today he was just a memory. But long before that moment of shock, Craig's life had become a silent battlefield. He was fighting and he was losing, but no one knew it. No one even noticed that every breath he took seemed to be a struggle against an invisible pain. At night, sitting in the corner of his trailer, his hands would shake as he tried to write on paper, but he would smile and say, "I'm fine." But it was this act of being fine that ultimately consumed him. Doctors had warned him that his heart was fragile, his breathing was irregular, and his body was tired, but his love of acting had taught him to deny his own mortality. "I bring smiles to others. My pain doesn't matter." These words seemed to kill his body every day and cruelly plunge his mind into the darkness of loneliness. No one on the General Hospital set understood, but Maya, his co-star, looked at Craig with a different perspective. When she entered the trailer and saw Craig sitting silently in a chair, his hands on his chest, enduring the pain, Maya said with a look of fear in her eyes, "Craig, you see a doctor, you're sick." But Craig smiled and said, "The audience can't see my illness, they're happy when I smile. That's my job." But no one could see the thousands of pains and the difficulty of breathing that lay behind this smile. Maya had been watching for a long time and noticed that Craig had dark circles under his eyes, that he was having trouble breathing, and that his movements had become tiring, but Craig kept it a secret and acted with the same enthusiasm. One night, he had to go to the hospital without anyone knowing. Then, after a long examination on the monitor dial, the doctors realized that Craig's heart was no longer working as it used to. His heart's clock seemed to be waiting to stop early. But even while sitting in the hospital, he opened his diary and wrote, "If I don't come back one day, tell the audience that I didn't want to stop acting. Only my body didn't listen to me anymore." No one saw the writing, no one heard his inner cry, and no one even realized that he was slowly moving towards death. The next day he appeared again on the set of General Hospital. Standing in front of the camera, giving dialogues, the audience's hearts trembled with every word of the dialogue, but his own heart seemed to be fighting the last battle. No one knew that as soon as the shot ended, he would lean back in his chair and breathe and wonder, how much longer? That day his dialogue in one scene was about running to save someone, but in reality he himself was running towards death. That irony seemed to cut him off, but no one could catch it in his eyes. And that dark night came. While he was lying on the hospital bed, the doctors were making their last efforts to keep him still. Nurses were running, the beeping of the monitor playing a fiery death note. But Craig still had his eyes open and said to Maya, "Tell them I didn't want to stop acting." His voice was so weak it seemed to disappear into thin air. Then his hands slowly grew cold, his eyelids closed, and the man who had made thousands of people smile said goodbye to the world. Which scene after his death shook you the most? Which moment from General Hospital do you think is his most iconic moment? Let us know in the comments box. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our General Hospital Update News channel and stay with us.